What is time? So this is a question that is a little bit uncomfortable because there is a lot of moral content surrounding the way people who have a lot of time in their life are treated and how they are integrated into society, and how social attitudes towards people who have a lot of time or who either exhibit behavior that other people believe is a signal of not being time constrained. Now, the problem here is this idea of war deontology, which is a completely different way of thinking about time. What this means is a kind of consciousness, general consciousness, which posits that there is a hierarchy of anxiety, and the root of this anxiety is the greatest anxiety, and it is the idea that there is no anxiety greater than the anxiety of those who are tasked with organizing the capability to inspire people to act when the judgment is made that failure to properly signal the necessity of action is tantamount to defeat. In other words, there is a linkage of willpower that must be established, not for key individuals in the society, but for everyone. And this is very different from traditional social organization, which understands individuals as participating in a combination of individual mentality interrupted by periods of mob mentality, which provides a foundation of shared experience and memory that is a safe and secure womb or matrix. Which provides a bhava or birth. So this craving for security and safety and the anxiety of being separated from that security and safety, as well as the ideation about life that goes with that safety and security. So when we have time, and we feel safe and secure, we often want to wish that life was different. It's very natural. We wish to make more people very often. We wish to get married and build families. So this is a domestic impulse, and this domesticity, if you are not careful, it can drive a philosophy that leads to a degraded and imprisoned understanding of the world based on a struggle for domesticity, since domesticity is seen as the fundamental organizing principle of life, as opposed to a duality, which understands domesticity and monasticity as the positive and negative poles of the social organism, which is a completely different way of organizing your social function, because it replaces the academic function in the domestic culture with the practice. Both are considered as critical functions, functions that are regulating some of the other functions in the system through a process of communication. And this regulation of the system is based on personal power. So we think of certain individuals as control rods and a society as a nuclear reactor. So if the control rods are in, then it functions like a refrigerator. The society loses this form of energy, this energy in the form of anxiety, and the controls absorb that energy, but do not reflect more out, which is ordinarily the case. Ordinarily, we believe through the system of naive war thinking that anxiety, we have the deontology of reflecting and amplifying anxiety. So that is one of the social functions, and a breakdown of that function in the mind means a breakdown of the entire society, because if the entire society lacks the ability to become a single unit, then it has no consciousness of itself. It has no class consciousness, and therefore consciousness must be some other class, must associate the identity with some other class, which is then invested with intentions. And the question is, what is the nature of the potential link between the intention of the society or state in a post-nationalist world that we live in, and what is the intention of the executive function of a political unit? So this potential difference of intention works differently in different societies, but it's always there, because there is always the need to understand the way in which anxiety is either reflected or absorbed. Now, anxiety absorption spectrum of a person will indicate what types of anxiety a person is not only willing to accept, but is happy to absorb and sympathize and empathize with. So this posits that anxiety is a frequency or a sequence of frequencies that triggers the sense of terror. So, if there is no shared sense of terror, then there is no society, period. Because the society is based in an unverifiable sense of terror, which becomes the gossip or security driving impulse of the social unit.